Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of For the Republic here with your boy Louis Valentine and my very good friend Karen Deep Singh.
Yo,
All right, we have a really good episode for you guys today. A lot of stuff happening this week in the past, things like 2024, Justice Thomas, the liberals attack once again. We're going to talk about, we'll go into several topics: Gavin Newsom, Afghanistan, France, and the really good Trump Tucker exclusive interview that they had that I wasn't expecting. So we'll go on that first. I just want to make a quick announcement before we go on. So you notice that there's only one person on webcam. I want to apologize to our viewers for that. And as I apologize, I hope you guys recommend us to your friends and subscribe. We should be rolling with our visual probably next week, and we're just figuring stuff out. We're starting out and we're just figuring stuff out, but we're on a roll now, so we'll get everything settled out.
gotta catch up, man. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up. We're gonna catch up. Just like Joe Biden, we're gonna catch up.
Yeah, right.
All right. All right. So the first topic, a lot of stuff. I mean, we could just start anywhere, but we're gonna start with this Afghanistan report that came out as we were going into Easter break, Easter weekend. There was a report by the National Security. I think they call it the conference or the people that are responsible for home national security. They came up with a report about like 12, 13 pages detailing pretty much detailing why it wasn't their fault that Afghanistan was a complete disaster,
Surprise,
and pretty much
surprise.
blaming. Yeah, right. It's just like it's not us. It's of course who's gonna get the blame, Donald Trump. So they just blamed him, saying that he left things so disorganized that it's really his fault. You know, it's really his fault. He's the reason that we left 13 people there dead. He's the reason that there's American citizens that are hostages. Uh, he's the reason, you know. And what's really pathetic about it is that nobody even mentions anything about it. The president doesn't say anything at all, and if he does, it's like completely watched.
Yeah.
The last time I heard him say something, he was saying that he was going to lay an egg. Apparently, he was going to push out an egg. I don't want to understand that.
What does that
So
even mean?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. He just told Al Roker out of nowhere,
I
like, "Oh,
want to know. I'm actually curious what he means by
okay."
that.
Of course you were. Of course you're curious.
Because it's such a weird thing for him to say. Like, what do you mean by that?
We're gonna move on. We don't want to hear him. I don't want to imagine him pushing out anything. And then,
All right, all right, all right.
all right. And then I didn't hear. We didn't hear anything from the Secretary of State or the Secretary of Defense. And the president that weekend was at Camp David, where he then told people he was going to push something out of somewhere. And so, who's left is John Kirby. I think you've seen John Kirby.
Yeah.
He's a former admiral. He comes out usually when Karine Jean-Pierre can't really answer questions. I'll just say it this way. He's the white guy that comes out to answer the questions. You've probably seen him. He came out and it was funny because it reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen this, probably not, but like during the Iraq War when Saddam, the last one, Saddam had this press secretary. People here called him Baghdad Bob because he insisted
Baghdad
during a
what?
press briefing, Baghdad Bob. His
Okay.
name is like Salam something like that, and
Okay. Okay.
and so yeah, it's his name. And he was funny because as American troops were like invading the city, he kept going into the TV and saying, "Oh, he's like there are no American troops here, no American troops in Baghdad." And literally, the next photo, video, the next camera shot was American troops in the, I think where Saddam Hussein used to live, or like the palace or parliament. Literally, it was like hilarious. Like he says they're not there. There's like a missile going off in the background. It's hilarious. And so that's what he said. That's what it reminded me of. Pretty much, it's like, oh no, he everything that we did was great. He pretty much said that he was proud. Well, he said that Biden was proud of the work they did, but the problems
Wow.
were that it was Trump's fault. So I'm like, wait a second. So this is it. Like, it's first of all, Biden's proud that 13 soldiers died, even though it was preventable, because as we learned in the House committee, a soldier that cried, by the way, he cried as he testified, said, those lives could have been saved because I could have shot the suicide bomber, but they didn't let me. That's insane. So Biden's proud of that. Okay. Is he also proud of, let's see, the American hostages? Supposedly he cares about all the interpreters and stuff that helped us, in Afghanistan over these 20 wasted years.
Yeah, right.
And then is he proud of the fact that he left the Taliban with $85 billion worth of equipment, which they're selling to Russia,
Oh,
Iran,
I thought it was
China?
less. Holy crap.
No, yeah, it's $85 billion worth of equipment. And they're selling it all, by the way, because they really only need 5% of that equipment. They don't need all of it.
Oh yeah, they don't need
They don't
all
need
that.
all the
They
jets.
don't
They don't
need
need
all
all the
that.
Humvees. They only need a little bit because
Might as well sell most of them, get whatever money you
yeah, they're
can.
selling all of it because they're like, wait, I can sell this to Russia. I can sell it to Iran. I can sell it probably to the Palestinians, Hamas, Hezbollah. I can sell it to a bunch of people who want it. I can sell it on the black market and make tons of money because it's brand new stuff. It's not like stuff like the Russians have from like 1980. This is brand new stuff that Donald Trump made sure they had over there. I mean, we saw all the photos.
Hmm.
And then that's part of the interview. We'll talk about that interview later. And then is he also proud of the fact that there were Afghans like falling from planes and chasing an
Those
airplane?
yeah, those were
Was
really
he is he proud
scary.
of that? Because and the worst part is that when he was mad, he was asked about all of that. Kirby said, "Oh, I didn't see that from my perch." Well, of course you didn't see it from your perch. Your perch is in Washington D.C., where you guys see nothing. It's again what we keep talking about. It's people who are committed to an ideology and do things on the basis of an ideology of which they'll never suffer the consequences. They don't suffer the consequences of high crime, low bail or no bail posted. They don't suffer those consequences because they live in posh, metropolitan or suburban neighborhoods with gated communities. They don't suffer from the mass immigration because guess what? No one's coming up to their jobs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so who's the first person that gets blamed? It's Donald Trump. So they want to have it both ways. They want to say that anything bad is Trump's fault, and anything good that we did is because I'm proud of it. I'm so proud of the work we did. The work he did, it was a mess.
Do you think that the whole withdrawal with Afghanistan, do you think that Biden thought that maybe what he did was a good deed for us to get out of that war? Or
I don't.
did he really expect that all that was gonna happen? Because I think if I can remember, I think the general and then some of his administration said, "Don't do it. It's not gonna look good. Don't pull out." And then
Well,
Biden didn't
remember,
listen to
it's
that.
that constant like struggle between the neocons and the liberals and the war hawk Democrats, which is most of them. They're all, especially the entrenched politicians. Remember, Joe Biden voted for this war. He's old enough that he was a senator when this war began. He voted for all of this. They all voted for Afghanistan and Iraq. They never wanted to leave. Remember when Trump was president and Jim Mattis, who's the defense secretary, I think HR McMaster, the security advisor, they were telling Trump that, oh, you can't leave Syria. They don't. They fought him over the soldiers leaving Iraq and Afghanistan.
Hmm.
They fought him because they thought we had to be there forever, pretty much. And Trump's saying, no, we can't be here forever. We're wasting money. We're wasting lives. What's the point? We got to get out. I think they knew it would go badly because I can remember in that summer, and I wrote an article about that on the Substack then, uh, pretty much that they were reports that the soldiers reportedly trained. Like the soldiers were, first of all, they were illiterate. The military was literally having to teach Afghan soldiers how to read and understand numbers. That's how bad they were. They didn't know how to do that. They
Hmm.
wouldn't. They couldn't. They didn't know how to use firearms. Of course, it's not a gun. It's not a gun owning culture. And then the
Right.
second more alarming thing is that they were engaged in this thing that they do in Afghanistan, where these tribes they buy little boys and make them cross dress so they can dance. Yeah, look into that later. They call it something specific,
I don't
and
think I
pretty
even
much the
want to look at
military was
that.
yeah. No, I'll send a link and I'll add one so you can see that.
Oh, great, thanks.
Well, not the videos, but the article. And pretty much like what your boyfriend Dilly Mulvaney does, like dancing on TikToks. Well, that's what they had little 13-year-old boys cross dress because it's something cultural for them. Like instead, yeah. So that was a
Guys,
problem too.
to everyone who's watching, this is not my boyfriend. He's just being a
No, we
dick.
established it in the previous episode. You love him. That's your boo. That you love him. You just bought a Nike Sports Bra. All right. So
You having fun?
yes, I'm a lot of fun. So
Okay.
much fun. And no, but he knew this was going to happen. They all knew this was going to happen because he was committed to getting the hell out of there no matter what because he wanted to. This is the point. See, he's not doing this because he thinks the war in Afghanistan is bad. He doesn't care. What he wants is to keep a campaign promise no matter the cost. So at the end of the day, he's going to say, oh, yeah, but I got you guys out of there, remember? Remember, I told you I was going to do
Yeah,
it, and I
so
need
it's like
more out.
so it's like he's
He
saying that,
doesn't
oh,
care.
whatever I did was a good deed. I did it so then none of our soldiers can die anymore, and then we had to get them out. But it's like my thing is also with Trump, like he did had a plan and on how to get
Yeah.
everyone out, but would it be the same result? Except the whole leaving our military behind.
Now, this is the point. I don't think Donald Trump, and he said that in the Tucker Trump interview. We'll get to that later. Pretty much, he was pretty much fighting people in the military, like the Joint Chief of Staffs, Mark Milley, saying that the general was saying, "Oh, it's cheaper to leave everything there," and he's saying, "Do you really think it's cheaper? All it needs is a plane is gas, and we can send it somewhere else. It doesn't have to come back home. We can send it to a military base in Turkey or in Iraq or just somewhere else. You can go to Pakistan." But and I loved hearing that interview. Liberals say he's insane, but that's because they're insane. So of course, anything that's not what they want is insane. But I thought it was fantastic. I think he's Trump really has a good grasp of the big picture in terms of foreign policy. We'll talk about that later, but I have a lot of confidence that he would have done the right thing. It's just that he seems, when it comes to foreign policy, for me, he just has the right touch. He just understands the big picture. And so sometimes, like, neocons are like, oh, but he doesn't get the minute details. He doesn't know that in 1972, he doesn't need to know that. He doesn't need to know about 1972. He just needs to know about that we have an enemy, it's China, and we have to do everything in our case, in our position, to deter them. And I think that's the point. See,
Mm.
when we were with Trump, there was deterrence. The Taliban was never going to invade because they knew as soon as they made a misstep, we would be back there bombing the hell out of them.
Right.
That's what they knew. They knew there was someone there that would stop them from doing bad things. Same thing with Iran, same thing with Hezbollah, Hamas, all the other ones. They knew it because
Hezbollah.
they said, that guy is crazy. That guy's crazy. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. And I'm going to mention some things that I heard in the interview that I thought were so fascinating. I mean, he's a great storyteller, by the way. He might be exaggerating, but no, he isn't, and he's not, because he's mentioning events that happened that we know are verifiable. And Tucker was kind of amazed. But what I got from this is the Democrats always want to have it both ways. They want to be able to say nothing's our fault and it's his fault. It reminds me of Obama, like in 2015, pretty much blaming everything that bad that happened during his administration on
Hmm.
George Bush, even though it had been like 7 years since Bush was president. It was like,
Oh, really?
why is there ISIS? Oh, that's George. That's Bush's fault. He created this whole mess. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the economy's slow. That's George Bush's fault. That's not my fault. What are you talking about? That's not my fault. It's this whole double standard. It's like, nothing's my fault. Everything's my predecessor's fault. And I don't remember George. I mean, this is like a new phenomenon now that presidents just blame the predecessor now. Like these last three, like I get Trump blaming Obama, like Obama, I blame him. He was shitty. He was a terrible president. Biden's horrible. Blame him. When he gets out, let's blame everything bad is his fault pretty much. But
The,
I
the,
don't remember. I don't remember 9/11 happening and then George Bush the next month saying, "Oh, you know what? That was Clinton's fault."
yeah, I was gonna say that anyone blame
No,
Clinton for
no, I don't
anything.
remember that. I never saw Bill Clinton say, "Oh, the Kosovo and the Northern Ireland. Oh, that's George H.W. Bush's fault or Ronald Reagan's fault. That's not my fault. That's it. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, Ronald Reagan didn't say that the Iran hostages were Jimmy Carter's fault. He didn't say, oh, he's responsible for it. That's happening because that's his fault that it happened. No, he said that this president is weak and this is the reason it's happening. We're not respected. He's not blaming him directly and saying it's his fault that this happened because this. No,
Well, what
this is
was
the
well, it's
first time.
funny. It's funny. It's not even the first time they're doing this. Apparently, let's see. Let's check on the list. It's Trump's fault. With the whole withdrawal stuff, it's Trump's fault that we got inflation. It's Trump's fault that we got coronavirus. It's Trump's fault that he's just orange. What else?
It's Trump's fault that Biden fell off that bike, that he
What?
fell off the
Yeah, it's Trump's
stairs,
fault that I fell off the
that
stairs. It's Trump's
that
fault
he
I fell off
sniffed
the
those
bike.
girls.
It's Trump's fault that I went to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah,
Oh
it's Trump's
oh oh
fault
shit! I
that
shit! I broke the wall. I broke the wall. Shouldn't have said
oh,
that. Shouldn't have said that.
right. Well, this is getting canceled. No, but they want to have it both ways. They want to eat their cake. They want to have it both ways. It's just so ridiculous. It's they want to have their cake and eat it too. It's you can't do it that way. And this is what brings me to the next topic. The same thing is happening with Justice Thomas. So Justice Thomas reportedly came out. These articles came out that it's the New York Times, the Washington Post. Uh, he was going on these vacations paid by a conservative billionaire who's an activist, who's pretty much who's fighting for conservative causes. All
Wait,
right.
what?
No, that's there's a conservative who's wealthy. I think he's a billionaire who financed Justice Thomas's vacations with his wife. So Jeannie Thomas and Clarence Thomas, they went on vacations and they were paid for by this conservative billionaire. A billionaire who's conservative leaning.
What's the name?
I have to get the name, but that's the allegation. That's what's in the news article. And so Democrats are saying, especially the ones in the House, people like Ro Khanna, AOC, they're saying we have to impeach him now, now.
No, they're
And
desperate. They are
so,
desperate. They really want him out so bad.
no, they definitely want him
They
out.
really want him so
They're
bad because
so
they know that he's pretty
it's
strong
a
up there.
Texas billionaire who's a real estate magnate. The guy's name is Harlan Crow. He's a billionaire. He does real estate, and he's a major donor to the GOP. And for 20 years, apparently, he was long on vacations financed by this guy. Okay. Now, this isn't, by the way, this isn't the first time that Supreme Court justices have been criticized for hanging out with political people. I remember Scalia was criticized for hanging out with like Dick Cheney, and they would go shooting with a group of Republican senators and congressmen and people like that. It's not the first time. But here's the double standard. So if Justice Thomas is being financed or he's getting vacations with paid for by a conservative billionaire, okay. So where's the outrage for Gavin Newsom's political career being financed and started by the Getty family?
Mm.
You don't know who the Getty family is? The Getty family are oil magnates. They own the Getty Oil Company, which is gasoline, which is oil, fossil fuels. Wait a second. Fossil fuels, Democrat. Oh, but don't they hate that though? I thought you hated that. I thought you didn't like. I thought you wanted to get rid of fossil fuels and oil and big gas. But Gavin Newsom, who's going to be the face of the party, by the way, in 2028, he's going to be a leading contender for the election. Not Kamala, it's going to be him. This man's political career was started by billionaires. Started by billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article a couple years I read in the LA Times pretty much outlining the hundreds of thousands of dollars Gavin Newsom has taken from the Getty family, from the Pritzker family, who they do hotels and stuff. One of the Pritzkers is the governor of Illinois, the Chris Christie 2.0.
Oh yeah. What
Yeah,
was the name again?
J.B. Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker. He's a billionaire, but he's also a Democrat. Isn't that funny? You can't be a billionaire and a Republican, but you could be a billionaire and a Democrat. It's okay. That's fine. We're okay with that. But if you want to be a billionaire and you're a Republican, that's not good. And if you want to have
When did Gavin Newsom start serving?
in the 90s, he was the mayor. He started out, I think he was a prosecutor, and then he was a mayor. He was a mayor of San Francisco, just like Dianne Feinstein. And then he became he just rose up the ranks.
Yeah, his net worth is 20 more than
Oh
20,
no,
20 million.
no, yeah, no, he's wealthy. Remember, Gavin Newsom isn't the kid from the south side of Chicago or like some neighborhood in LA. He's from the San Francisco elite.
Mm-hmm.
His
Mm-hmm.
father
Yeah.
was a big time judge, Bill Newsom. He was a big time judge in that area. So he's not a kid that comes from the scraps, from the ghetto. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In California, he was involved in circles that were wealthy and liberal. And so, but this is the double standard. So Clarence Thomas can't go on vacations paid for by a Republican, but Gavin Newsom can get his entire political career funded by oil barons, pretty much, and billionaires, which Democrats hate. And Barack Obama can go to the every summer when he was president, Barack Obama he couldn't wait to go to Martha's Vineyard. Wait, who lives on Martha's Vineyard again? Oh yeah, billionaires. When do they go to Martha's Vineyard? Because by the way, Martha's Vineyard is like Wildwood in New Jersey. Not as wealthy, but it's like that. It's seasonal. It's in the summer only. So who's in the
Didn't
summer?
Oprah Winfrey
Who's
used to live there, or is she
They
still
all live
living
there.
there?
They all
Oh,
live there.
okay, right, yeah.
So who's there in the summer on an island where there are wealthy people, and Barack Obama shows up. Wait, billionaires. But I thought you guys didn't like that. So that's a problem. That's a problem, but that's not a problem. But Justice Thomas is a problem. Okay, yeah, I see. There's no double standard. It's okay. So it's like what we talked about in an episode last time. It's we're gonna get our ideology put in place through the back door, no matter what. No means necessary. It doesn't matter if we break every rule. It doesn't matter if we have no principles. Doesn't matter if I have principles, but if it doesn't work, I'll get another set of principles. It doesn't matter. I'll move on. I mean, go back to I did something a couple weeks ago. I went to a video of the Democratic Party convention in 1996. Democrats were literally Republicans. They sounded like Republicans. I mean, they were Hillary, Nancy Pelosi, Bill Clinton. They were out there literally railing against illegal immigration. They were saying, we're going to secure the border and we're going to build a fence and we're going to secure it and we're going to stop the illegal trespassing of people into this country. That's literally a Republican line.
What happens to them now?
Oh, I mean, look at them. They're disgusting.
Man, they're really
And
desperate
so
for votes.
And so it's the double standard though. I can change, I can flip flop. I can go to South. It's like Hillary Clinton. I can go to the South, have a Southern accent, and then forget about it. And no one's gonna make fun of me. But if you do that, I'm gonna make fun of you and I'm gonna point you out in the media. It's a double standard. So whatever you do, you can't do it, but I can do it. So Joe Biden can get money from China. He can fundraise. He can have a fake think tank with the University of Pennsylvania that's in Washington, though, and they don't actually do anything of importance. What's his name? Jim Biden, I think, is Joe Biden's brother. He can go and pretty much tell people that, oh, my brother's president. I'm an attorney in Florida. If you have a case, you can bring it here. Oh, he can do that. That's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. But if what Jared Kushner brokers a deal with the Middle East and somehow his companies make money, that's a problem. That's a problem. The mere allegation. But when we have proof that Joe Biden does it, that's not a problem. What are you talking about? That's how it works. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
No, it's a double standard. They don't. There's no accountability. There's no principles, and I don't know how long we can be like this as a country where Republicans have to be the ones who take it. They're the ones
Wait,
who
wait,
have to
hold
hold
on.
the standard.
Hold on. One. Okay. I just want to point this out real quick. How is Clarence Thomas's net worth $1 million?
Well, how is Nancy Pelosi's net worth? Well, I remember,
One
remember
twenty
he's
million.
been there. He's been there for over 20 years. Supreme Court justices get paid around almost $200,000 a year.
200. Yeah. So yeah.
So
So
add that up over time. What you can't explain is how does Barack Obama enter the presidency at less than he's not a millionaire, but when he's not president, after he's president, he has 3 homes and he's
yeah.
a multimillionaire.
Yeah. I think he's 80 million right
Yeah,
now.
they're extremely wealthy. But Donald Trump, who's supposedly corrupt and stole money, he enters a billionaire around like what 7, 8 billion,
He was a
and now
7
he's only
billion,
worth
and
two.
then now he's around three
He's around
billion
two.
dollars.
Okay,
That makes no sense though. Like, how is? Oh wow. Yeah, that's how you know. That is how you know.
no. I get it why it's a million because if you're there for a long time, look, salaries are high. I don't think they spend a lot, so you can estimate that he has
Yeah.
enough money. Also, remember, net worth also includes your home. I'm sure he has a big house, so that net worth is included in what you own. So his house is probably big. He probably owns it. So look, I get that part. Do I think he's getting money cutbacks? I don't think so. I don't think any of them are. I think it's just the double standard of you can't do this, but we can do that. And if we get caught, we won't get in trouble because that's fine. But if you do it, you have to be impeached and you have to be destroyed. No, they're not to destroy him. This isn't a conversation like you could have like back in
Yeah,
2002
this
or
is all political
1993.
stuff. Yeah.
This isn't that we're gonna have a conversation on Capitol Hill to see whether it's bad, why it's bad, if it happened or not. They're saying the mere allegation of that fact that it's in the New York Times, that's a crime. We have to get rid of him. We're gonna destroy him and cancel him, and he can never be a viable person in society because he's committed crimes that we would never do. But by the way, you guys do them all the time. So let's not
Did you
go with it.
mention when did he took this vacation?
It's been happening for years apparently. According to the report, they're saying for 20 years.
Good luck to them with these evidence that they're finding. Honestly,
No, that's the thing. You can't trust anything in the media
you
anymore,
really
and it's
can't.
not our fault. It's their fault because of so much that they've done over the years. They've eliminated their own credibility and then question us why we don't believe them. Well, look in the mirror, dumbasses. You did it to yourself.
Yeah, so
You
it's
invented so
it's
many
it's really
hoaxes.
stupid. Aren't these the same people that said that he wants to destroy interracial marriage
Remember, yeah,
when
I
his
remember
wife
he
is
said that.
white and he's black?
Exactly, exactly. It's like it's so
These
stupid.
are the
No,
same people that are saying that he took billions of dollars from a billionaire
these are the
conservative
same people that said our
for a luxury vacation.
these are the same people that said our government's not spying on us. The same people that said we were winning in Afghanistan for 20 years. The same people that said that Russia blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard. The same people that invented the Russia hoax.
Oh yeah, there's not
The
the
same people.
Russians.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on and on all the things the media have said over the years, and yet we're supposed to believe them every time they say something? Of course not. And no sane person would. We're not cynical. We just look at what's happened and say, stupid. Why would we believe you if you get everything wrong? The media is the boy who cried wolf, the boy who yells his pronouns. That's it. That's what they are now. That's what they are now. All right, so we're gonna go on a quick break because I think we're pretty much out of time on these first two segments. When we come back, we're gonna talk about that fantastic, if you ask me, but if you ask liberals, insane, his most insane outrage of Donald Trump and Tucker. Great interview, all right. So we're gonna go on a short break and we're gonna talk about that next. All right.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Katie here. Before we get into the second part of our segment, I just want to let you guys know that I'm also running a gaming channel. Um, I'm gonna put the link down the description down below. So if you guys aren't like, into the whole mood of politics, you can always enjoy the whole part of the gaming world, I usually tend to do a little bit more comedy into the no walkthroughs of gameplays. Um, Maybe in the future I'll do that. But if you guys are down, if you guys are a huge fan of gaming, just go down the description below, hit the link button, and you guys can check out my gaming channel. Thank you guys.
And we're back. This is part two of For the Republic. You can check us out again everywhere you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere you get your podcasts. You can check us out on Patreon too at patreon.com/for the number four, the Republic. We're gonna have the link and everything in the description below. All right, so there was an exclusive interview this week on Tuesday. It came out on Tuesday. It's coming out in parts. I watched the whole thing. Trump and Tucker exclusive interview. His first interview with somebody since the arraignment, apparently in New York. Now, I thought it would be more about the legal system and him getting sued and all the lawsuits. Tucker did too. All of a sudden, it turned into a discussion of foreign policy, and I thought that was fantastic, truly fantastic. I think outside of the economy, that's the best thing that Trump does. The best thing Trump talks about is foreign policy because he gets the big picture. He goes out and he says our biggest enemies are China. They're going to take Iran. They want to take Taiwan, and Biden and his lack of courage and the fact that he doesn't have any deterrence is making China want to do it. I don't know if you saw this week. China was pretty much doing military exercises and had like ships literally going around the island, shooting bombs, missiles, just practicing.
There's been another
That's
war
literally
coming.
just war. Yeah, that's another war coming. And again, we talked about this, I think, the last time on the Patreon, which you should check out. Um, I really think that if Biden's president still, I think if the Chinese think Trump's going to be president soon, I think they'll just go ahead right and do it. And I don't think the Taiwanese are going to put any resistance up because I think they're going to say this guy in Washington, Biden, does not have our back, and he's just going to let us. Like in public, he'll say something, but behind the closed doors, he'll be like, "Do you guys really want to fight? Like they have a bigger army. You guys aren't that big. I mean, they're a small island if you look at them on a map. They're
Oh yeah,
tiny.
they are. I think
They're
I
tiny.
think I think they're the same size as Israel, I believe.
Yeah, tiny, small. I
Yeah,
mean,
not big.
and so they're not the size of Ukraine. I mean, economically they're important because Taiwan has a lot of businesses, especially chip conductors and stuff like that. Like producing, so companies that produce things for technologies, chips, precious metals, stuff like that. So they do build and assemble a lot of stuff there. I mean, you can even get auto parts, tires, and a lot of stuff comes from Taiwan. So it's not as economically. I think it's a bigger player than Ukraine. I think it means more too, more than Ukraine. But I really don't think Biden's going to do anything to defend them. And so Trump went on this whole spiel about the hoax, Russia hoax. He talked about North Korea. He went into Iran. Talked a lot about China. Talked about Putin. Um, I guess I want to stay domestic before we go on the foreign policy route, which dominated most of the conversation.
Hmm.
He mentioned fascinating. I don't know
Dude,
if you heard that part.
dude, you're lagging again. You broke up. I don't know what you said.
All right. So
Go back to like 2 sentences before.
I don't know if you heard the part in the interview where Trump was saying that he gets along with Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
And I found Tucker found that like insane. Like he said, you really did, and I kind of found that fascinating because I remember for a while, he and Cuomo were getting along during the pandemic. If you remember that in the beginning, where Cuomo was saying, "Oh, he's helping me out and everything. He's doing a great job."
I think he did something about Cuomo.
Yeah,
I don't know about, I don't know about
Cuomo
news.
said that about Trump. He did. He said they were getting along, and then things
Oh yeah,
exploded
with the I think Trump brought in
with
the
COVID.
yeah. I think he
Yeah,
brought in like hospital beds and like in the
yeah, he did
Navy
pretty
ship, something
much.
like that. Yeah.
And Cuomo gave him his props. And I remember Well, Trump was saying that he and Gavin got along because every time he would talk with Gavin, Gavin Newsom would be really polite. He's saying, "Oh, you're doing a great job, sir. Thank you for helping out. Doing a great, everything's good," which is hilarious because it's
Really?
like, well, yeah, that according to Trump.
I
And
didn't really
Tucker,
yeah, I didn't really expect that from him.
Tucker
From
was
Gavin.
just kind of laughing and saying, "Wow, that's crazy," because you would never expect it.
Oh, I wouldn't expect that either.
He's the next face of the Democratic Party. Like, why would he say all that? But hey, that's probably just behind the scenes to get along. He probably just wanted to sugar him up just to be on his good side if he ever needed anything like money, for
He
the
needs to be
state.
careful.
Yeah, well, and so that was funny. And I thought he was going to mention Ron DeSantis at one point. He didn't. He just said that he was really good for the governors, which was, I guess,
Honestly, that's good. It's
yeah,
good that he didn't bring
yeah. Because
Ron
remember,
up because honestly, some conservatives kind of turn off with the whole idea of Trump talking about Ron, either if it's if it's bad. I don't like the idea.
yeah,
Just
it's
like
stupid though. But you know
yeah,
why it's stupid though? Because when Nikki Haley comes out and says anything, or when another Republican like Jeb Bush or McCain or Romney come out, they don't say anything. Or when
no,
Chris Christie says
it's like
so stupid.
don't come out every day talking
No, yeah,
about
I thought it was
Ron.
great.
It's like let that go. Talk about the bigger issues,
Yeah,
and then you'll get it. Like trust
yes, exactly. Because especially Tucker's audience is huge. Like he's the number one show on news
me.
at that hour. Like he's the number one show. So you have a huge audience right there, including Democrats. By the way, Democrats watch him for some reason.
Really.
He gets a huge range of people, and it was so funny watching the reactions of people like the Young Turks or like Destiny or the other ones. There's another one named Adam something. He's on YouTube. He's those the liberals on YouTube, pretty much saying Trump at his most unhinged version of himself. Trump gone insane. The craziest Trump interview you've heard yet. It's like, what are you talking about? He just outlined very closely a very very good particular set of issues that he can tackle, like the rise of China. He's mentioning things no other candidate's mentioning, which is a great critique, by the way, for Ron DeSantis. Ron
Hmm.
DeSantis thinks he can win by just focusing on culture war issues like don't say gay, anti-Disney, we're gonna not teach the CRT. But where's the economic policies? Because everything I hear about people when they say Ron DeSantis is he kept Florida open during COVID. Okay, what else?
I'm
What else?
keeping gays out of the kids.
Yes, but what else? Is that it? That's not a national agenda. But when Trump says one comes out and says, "Hey, the dollar's under attack because there's these companies like Brazil, Colombia, there are countries around the world that are not U.S. friendly, and we have to watch out." And he says things like, "Why is Macron in France going to China and pretty much saying he that the European Union should be neutral when it comes to Taiwan?
Hmm.
Neutral? What does that little boy think? We pay for his defense, and he's going to say they're going to be neutral. No, you're going to do what we tell you to do, little boy. What the hell is he talking about? He can't even get his own country in shape. Look at all the protests they're doing. And
Right.
by the way, just to get on that note real quick before they're only protesting because they don't want to work until they're 65. The French retirement age is 62. That's why they're protesting. They're not protesting because of civil liberties. They're not protesting because of anti-freedom freedom of the press, freedom of speech, anything that we would protest for. They're not protesting for that. They're angry that they're being asked to work 3 more years because they can't afford it, or as Joe Biden could say, they can't afford it. They can't afford they can't afford to pay all the entitlements they have. They have a huge social safety net huge social programs that are
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah,
And this
I
is
don't know.
another
I don't know if
problem.
you've been noticing, but it's really wild up there.
Oh yeah, no, when
I
the French,
think yeah,
yeah,
I think there are some kind of like Paris headquarters, and I think a few people were holding a big sign that says something about revolution. It's like,
yeah,
wow,
the
these
French
guys
shouldn't
are
be no.
push.
The
Ooh.
French the French are not good at revolutions. They should stop.
Why do you say
They
that?
should stop. They're not good. Last time we had a revolution in France, things didn't end up well. That's why we had the guillotine, remember? We don't want that. Please stop. Don't do this.
Yeah,
This isn't 1793. Do you know what happened? Do you want Napoleon to show up out of nowhere? I don't think you do because you guys didn't want that after a while.
yeah.
Even though it really worked out for you guys for a couple years. It worked for a while.
He's a small guy, but he's pretty brutal.
Yeah, well, he wasn't that short. That's also another myth. He was like 5'6" or something. 5'7", I
That's
think.
short to me.
Bro, you're like 5'4".
Never mind. I'm not even 5'4". Shut up.
All right, 5'5". But anyways, no, it's like they're just being ridiculous. It's remember that country also has another problem. They don't have the French. The average French family isn't having 2.1, 2.5 kids per household. They're not
Right.
having a lot of kids. There aren't a lot of French young boys out there and young girls out there doing all this, working and joining the workforce, and
Yeah, it looks
they're
more.
having population problems.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're having population problems, and everyone's moving out of there because of globalization. So nobody's in France, nobody's in these countries. Remember what Hungary's doing, where they're having people literally, they're paying people to have kids because they have a problem. They know they have a problem. They have an old population.
I
So
think
the
that's
people in
smart.
France are saying, "Hey, we're getting older. We've been working all these years, and the government's told us that they promised us that if we get to 65, we can work, we can retire and get all of our benefits. All of a sudden, this guy wants to take them away. And Macron hasn't been the best president they've had, so obviously he has he doesn't have any leverage. So that's another problem. But I hear people saying about don't mess with the French when they revolutionize. Yeah, because they kill people and it's not fun. All right, the French Revolution was not good. It was the spark that led. Do people realize that the French Revolution is the most loved revolution by the Marxists before the Russian Revolution? They love it because it was all about mass radical equality. I mean, if you study it and you look back at the things that were discussed, they were talking about abolishing property rights. Imagine abolishing the right to property. That's what was being discussed in the French Revolution. There was no due process. If
Hmm.
you were guilty of being a supporter of the monarchy or of the regime, to the guillotine you went. There was no court. There was no freedom of the press. You were sent to the guillotine. Oh, you like the king? Guillotine. Oh, you were in the French army and you were close to the. Oh, guillotine. You're rich? Guillotine.
Guilty.
You count? Oh, no.
Guilty.
You looked up? No. You blinked?
Guilty.
Guillotine.
Guilty.
It's like that Parks and Rec video. Go to jail. You make
Guilty.
a sweater? Go to jail. Just like that. It was like that. So I hear these people saying, "Don't mess with France. Please, please stop. Please stop. Don't do this." The last time we had a revolution, things didn't end up. You want the next Karl Marx to come out and write a book about how much that was great and how much? Oh, I loved it. That was a great revolution. No, we need more American revolutions. That's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Not these.
Wow. Apparently, about 80,000 protesters took to the streets of Paris with demonstrations in 200 more French cities.
Now we're fucked. Yeah, no, everyone's dying. The guillotine's coming out.
80,000 protesters. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, Bridget Macron, the 70-year-old pedophile, shouldn't come out next time and say, "You can just have some cake."
Don't ever do that again.
You need to eat some cake, please.
I don't
Like
think they sound
Marie
like
Antoinette,
that.
like Marie Antoinette. And she probably does sound like. Well, she's like 70 years old. She's as old as Donald Trump. So
You're gonna offend the shit out of them.
and nah, French people love me, man. It's okay. They know. They know me. They know me. They know me. We have a huge French following,
Whatever you say.
huge French fandom, right?
I
Right
mean,
in the
so okay, so what's Macron's next big like? What's his next plan? Like, is he gonna do anything about this or like?
I don't know. He's probably just gonna fold up and do nothing. I don't really care about him. What I care about is Trump and Tucker. And I'll just go back to that because Macron, I
Yeah.
really don't want to waste time on him. He's kind of done. He's finished. He doesn't have any political capital. I think he's done. By the way, being president
you
next
know,
term. I think
you,
he's out.
you know what's so funny about the interview with Carlson and Trump? I think Trump was talking about his visit with North Korea, and I think Tucker was there.
Yeah,
And then Trump was talking about how you almost gave them a hard time or something, and then
he
but
did
it's
give him a
okay,
hard.
it's okay. But what was he talking about? Like
Yeah,
what did
yeah.
Tucker
He got
do?
aggressive with the North Koreans because they were being aggressive with American reporters, and I think Tucker didn't want to take it. So I think he shoved like a North Korean person, like a North Korean like
Yo,
bodyguard or
this guy's
something.
actually
And
he is asking to be hanged, man. You know?
well, they can't really do anything if the government's there. So I think I remember. Well, they showed a clip. It was like they showed a clip of him there where he had a problem. No, it was yeah,
I
it was a funny
can't.
moment. It was like you caused me some problems. He's like, oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I can't imagine Tucker doing that because he looks like one of those lovable guys. But like, I there was another part where he just kept looking at Trump while Trump was just rambling about um
Yeah, that's how
Russia.
he does. He just has like his mouth is like slightly
Yeah,
open.
it's
He's just
like,
like,
oh, oh, okay. Oh, it's
and then he
like,
just
dude.
laughs like, oh.
Yo, his laugh is funny as hell, man.
It's hilarious. Yeah, no, and yeah, but yeah, it was a great interview, by the way, because I think what I loved about it was that Tucker didn't expect any of this conversation to happen. I mean, they talked about the dollar, they talked about the global economy, they talked about China, they talked about Taiwan, Ukraine, they talked about the Nord Stream. I think I think that he's doing what he did in 2016. Make the media and make people talk about the topics that aren't being talked about that are actually important. Like in
Yes.
2016 when he talked about immigration, nobody, and I remember this because I paid close attention. Nobody was talking about immigration or a wall before Donald Trump was. Nobody. They were talking about amnesty. They were talking about DACA. They were talking about stupid stuff.
Doc.
They were not talking about a wall or true immigration policy to enforce the border laws and keep people out. Nobody was. Nobody was.
I feel like if Trump would bring that 2016 Trump into this election,
I think he's starting to do it. I think he's really
he
starting to do
needs
it.
to. It's just like
He
no
needs
other
to.
way. It's
He
like
needs to. And I think he's just getting started, honestly. He's getting revved up and
we don't need the 2020 Trump. We
no, no,
want the
no, no.
2016.
That
That's
didn't
what
work.
got him over.
That's what got him in there. That's what got him in there. And look, I really loved also the other point. He has this keen political instinct that I just love to see in a president because it's somebody that's not beholden to consultants or influencers like not the influencers that you know now, but the people that are like from the think tanks, from the advocate groups, from lobbying groups that tell them what he should say. No, he knows what he's doing. It's him. It's not someone behind him telling him what to say. It's him. So Tucker asked him about Biden's age,
Right.
and Trump did like such a great job, pretty much saying, I'm not going to talk about that. But it's not that I think he's too old. I just think that his brain is fried because he mentioned Bernie Sanders. Like Bernie Sanders is like a year older than him, but he's like completely sane. Like Bernie Sanders is sharp, and I've heard Bernie Sanders speak. He's older than Biden, but his mind's still yeah. He just sounds like that because he's like from Vermont. Well, he's actually from Brooklyn. He's Jewish, but but his mind is in the right place. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
not talking about pushing out Easter eggs out of somewhere
Right.
or
Right.
that he's gonna sniff some. Today he said we're gonna lick the world together. I don't understand how that meant. I mean, and then
Well, let's think about it. What does it mean by that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to think about
No, it's so stupid.
that.
And so no, but see now you made me lose my train of thought. Talking about licking people. You were just supposed to speak about that.
Dude, like, what are these people doing? It's like one's talking about taking the egg out of the asshole, the other one's talking about licking the world. It's like, yo, what?
He needs an ice cream cone. That's what he meant. He's running low on ice cream.
Oh my god,
It's
these
so stupid.
politicians are
But Trump's the only
funny.
one that mentions these topics and can do things without. And so he's talking about the age thing, and he says, "This is what I love." He says, "You know what? I think they're only saying the age thing because I'm only a couple years younger than Biden, and Trump is like 75, so he's only a couple years younger than Biden." And his point is, when they say Biden's too old, what they're really saying, they really want to make that about me too, because they're saying that I'm too old. But look at me, look at Bernie. He mentioned the co-founder of Home Depot. He's like 96. Uh,
Wow.
and he's like sharp as hell. He goes on CNBC and Fox Business sometimes, and I've heard him speak. He's sharp. He knows what he's talking about. Like Trump said, I met with him last week, and he sounds like he's 80 or 70. Like he sounds good.
Yeah,
Biden is fried.
I don't like the whole fact that people are saying that we shouldn't have old politicians running for um office. That's not the point. I mean, like,
That's not the point.
it's
No,
it's like it's
because
like
there's a
it's
lot
like
of
I
young
said, when
stupid
you
people.
get older, you get wiser, you know. But it just depends on the person, on
Exactly.
how mentally good he is. Biden is not mentally fit.
And the policies too.
You
Because it's
can
not that his brain is fried.
if
He
you
has horrible policies.
if you meet a 100-year-old veteran, I bet you can speak way better than Biden. It just depends on who it is. It's a Biden doesn't. He's not there mentally.
No, he was never there mentally, and his policies are terrible.
Yeah.
That's the point. Because guess what? There are people that are young
Yeah, he
that are
wasn't.
stupid.
Yeah, he wasn't. He's not even smart in politics like
No,
that.
there's
No.
people that are young and stupid. Look at AOC. She's stupid and young. It's like, what are you talking about? We need young politicians. You want
I don't know.
AOC?
I don't know if she's stupid. Actually,
Stupid.
yeah. No,
No, she's
she's
stupid.
stupid, but she knows what
Maybe.
she's saying, but she's just
She,
bullshitting her way,
she, she,
through it.
she, does, she knows half of what she's saying, by the way. I've listened to her.
No, actually, yeah.
She knows
Yeah.
half of what she's saying. She doesn't know what she's saying. When she says that, I'm a Hasidic Jew. What? What are you talking about? How are you all of us? It's like Joe Biden saying, I was raised by Puerto Ricans. What? What are
What?
you talking about?
How?
Exactly. How? It's like, what are you talking about? What?
Oh my god.
No, it's insane. And so he made that point, and then people were making fun of him because he said the biggest threat is nuclear warming. I hope people can read between the lines. He says a lot of things between the lines. He's talking about what happens after a nuclear war.
Hmm.
We've gone through wars. We've seen World War One. That was a mess. World War Two. Look at photos of Germany in World War Two. That was only like 80 years ago, by the way. And guess what? People like you and me were the ones fighting in that war. Young men. There were young women being killed, young children being gassed. That's 80 years ago. Those are the same human beings as us. We're no different. And so we need to, he's pretty much laying that out, saying, what I really like is that he's the first anti war Republican president, and he's really the first legitimately anti war president, but he's not anti war like the Marxists and progressives are, where it's love, war is hatred, and love is peace, man. You gotta love everybody. Not that hippie, gypsy type love is peace. Not that anti war. He's the anti war of saying, we're a strong and powerful country. We have the best nuclear arsenal. We have the best army, but I don't want to put it to use because
Right.
the things we can do with this technology, and he brags about it. He says,
It'll be
our
brutal.
technology, the things we can do with, and by the way, and he says, all those new weapons, I made sure we have the best new weapons ever. We have new weapons. Everything's new and up to date on the technology. We can do things you couldn't even believe. I have all this power. And he says we. That's what I really love. He says we. He includes everybody. It's not just him, it's we. Obama, Bush, they never did that. It's we, our military, our soldiers, our weapons. They do stuff that nobody can believe, but I don't want to
Yeah,
use them because
it's really scary when you think of it like this. Like 80 years ago, you have like tanks and air jets, and now we have nuclear bombs.
yeah, and we
Where
can shoot them out of anything.
you can destroy half a country or It's really
Oh,
scary
in
thinking like
seconds.
this. Yeah,
In seconds. In
yeah.
seconds. We can shoot a missile and it'll be somewhere in 20
We
minutes.
can literally destroy the Earth if we want to.
Yeah, we can destroy the earth if we wanted to. And Trump is saying, we can do that, but we're not going to. Because we're strong and we know the intent, the how we know how strong we are. And to show that on the earth, you don't want to do that. So please don't mess with us. It's that form of deterrence saying, look, we're armed to the teeth. Don't mess with us. Because I know how strong I am. And I know how strong you're not.
Bro,
So
we
let's not
we
do this.
need that. We need that kind of talk,
That's that
man.
mindset of saying, I love
We
it
need
because
that mindset, yo. We
I
really
love it
do.
because he's anti-war because he's saying I hate war because of the things that it does, because of the soldiers that are going to die, because of the wounded men, the men by the way, Dylan Mulvaney, he'll be going out to war.
Yo, you stay
He'll
talking about him. What's wrong with you?
Because that's your boyfriend, and we have to mention him. No, but I'm just making the point is that it's real men that go out there to war. Like when shit hits the fan, dude, like in Ukraine, who's staying in Ukraine? The men. The men are in Ukraine, not the women. The women are in Europe going on vacation. They're in Italy, in Spain, in France, London, America.
Equality.
Yeah, they're not there. Yeah,
Nah, this time,
that's
if we have to go
that's
to
what
war,
happens.
let's put in the LGBT and
That's what I'm saying.
the
That's what I'm
feminists
saying. When shit
up
hits
in
the
front, and
fan,
we stay home.
when shit hits the fan, dude, it's Dylan Mulvaney. I'm only saying her. I'm only saying his name because
You said her.
shut the fuck up. That's him. No, I'm only saying his name because he's like the main face of him now. Like, remember, it used to be like the other people.
Right,
He's
right,
like
right.
the face of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, pretty much.
and he's not a girl. He hasn't done anything. He's not. He hasn't transitioned. He just wears a sports bra and he's gay.
Yeah.
That's it. No, but when shit hits the fan, dude, if you're a man on your ID and you're born a man, guess who's going? And if you're an age, guess who's going to that war, my friend? Yeah, he's going. All right, we're going. So Trump understands it and he says, I don't want war because I know you don't want war, and look how strong we are. You mess with us,
Nobody wants it,
it's
man.
not going to end well. And so I love it because it's that gentle giant saying, look, we're so powerful. We don't regret what we've done, but you don't want to mess with us.
He's not
It's like,
gentle, he's racist.
he's like that gentle giant. It's like, we're big and strong. Don't mess with us because if you do, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And he told a story. Xi Jinping went to Mar-a-Lago. Trump says because Xi Jinping wanted to go to Mar-a-Lago. And so a couple years ago when Trump was president,
That would be interesting.
Xi Jinping went. No, this is a real story. Xi Jinping went to Mar-a-Lago and he was there for several days.
Oh, he did. Oh,
He did. I think it
oh.
was
I thought you
2019.
wanted to. Oh, wow.
No, it was in 2019. He was there. And they were having dinner one day, and Tucker was asking him about Xi Jinping, like, what is he like? And Trump was saying, no, he's extremely, no, they're all geniuses, and they're all tough negotiators, but our guys are stupid. Our guys are weak. They get ripped off by everybody, including France, everybody. And he said the Chinese are smart, they're organized. Every single minute is this, and that. He would say, "Do you want to go see the Yankees? Do you want to go see a Broadway play? Have you ever been to Hollywood?" And Xi Jinping would say, "No, no, 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 no. I don't know, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do no, no, thank you, no, thank you. No, he's there to talk business."
Oh,
And
wow.
so I love
Yeah,
one
he did.
day.
He did go. Wow.
Well, I love one day. Trump was telling the story. Xi Jinping was in Mar-a-Lago and they were having dinner. And Trump was saying that this was the first time he ever heard that this was when he figured out that Xi Jinping actually speaks English because it was the only time he ever heard him speak English. This was around the same time that Trump uh, authorized 52 missiles to strike Syrian military camps and bases in Syria. And the night that happened, he and Xi Jinping were having dinner, and they were talking, and out of nowhere, Trump says, "We have just sent 52 missiles to bomb Syria
Oh,
in
yeah.
response to a chemical attack." And he says it was as if everything stopped, and Xi Jinping was like, "Repeat." He looked back to his interpreter and said, "Repeat," in English. He said
Yeah.
it like that. And it was that moment where he was like, "Are you serious? You're telling me that right now?" It was as if like, "Holy shit, this guy means business." He's telling me don't mess with Taiwan because look, he didn't hear that on the news, on the newspapers. He heard it from the guy himself. They're having steak, whatever. They're having, he's having Diet Coke and Xi Jinping's probably drinking champagne or something. And he's probably
apparently,
looking at him.
he told Xi Jinping that he shot 57 missiles as he's eating chocolate
57 missiles.
as he's eating chocolate cake.
Exactly. Yeah. As
I
he's
can
eating
imagine
chocolate
Trump
cake.
doing that, man.
I love it. I
Yo,
love
I
it.
shot 57 missiles, man.
No, but he's not saying it like that. He's not saying it like that.
Right.
He's saying, hey, as we're talking right now, I just sent 57 missiles to Syria
Right.
and I'm bombing the shit out of them. Because this is what he's trying to say. If you want to take Taiwan, just look at what I just did. You're the leader of China and you're sitting right in front of me. The media doesn't know this is happening. He's going to hear about this tomorrow. But I'm telling you right now, hey, look at what I just did. I just did this. It's not that I'm planning to or I'm thinking about it. It's, buddy, I just bombed the shit out of Syria. And we're eating chocolate cake and look at me. I'm right here. I'm smiling. We're having a good time. We're talking about trade. We're talking about everything else. You really want to test me? Do you really want to test me? That's the point. That's the deterrent. It's saying, I'm unpredictable. You can't do. Biden's predictable.
Oh,
We've seen he'll fold like a lawn chair. He'll fold like a beach chair on a rainy day. He'll fold. He won't do. He'll fold.
yeah.
Trump is
I don't think he's worried about Biden not one bit.
none of them are. That's why.
Yeah, I think he was telling the leaders at Taiwan that you really think that they're gonna help you from me? They're over here fighting
that's not
about
what he's saying.
genders.
He's not saying it literally, but remember what I said. Behind
Yeah.
closed doors, he's showing. He'll probably say it in a way of that's. It's trying to say that we don't respect your big bro. Like remember,
Right. Yeah.
you're the little bro getting bullied. China's the bully. Taiwan's your little brother. You're the big brother, but you're Joe Biden. Joe Biden's your big brother. It's like, what are you talking about? I pay him money. I'm paying your big brother. I'm your big brother's boss, pretty much. Like he's gonna protect you against me. What are you talking about? Like they're laughing, and they're saying, "Look at America. Look at your brother's house. Your brother's is in debt. He has no job. He has no money because I give him money. That's the only money he has. It's a whole mess. Look at them.
Yeah.
They think Dylan Mulvaney is a girl. That's how funny. That's how they look at it. They say they're so stupid. They're so stupid. Look. They shot down a $20 balloon with a $2 million missile.
Oh
And
yeah, they
they
did.
don't even, and they let me go across the entire North American continent from Alaska all the way down to South Carolina. I went over Canada and America. They did nothing about it. They waited a whole week. They're weak. They're pathetic. They're decadent. They won't protect you. Their time is done. They're over, man. But Trump, that's the difference with Trump, though, is that he showed them through action, don't mess with me. They were saying, you think that when General Soleimani of Iran got assassinated by a U.S. drone, I think it was a drone strike, you don't think the Russians and the Iranians and the Chinese were looking at that and saying, holy shit, he just killed General Soleimani. He's their top general. Holy crap. And he gives no fucks about it. The media is angry because, how dare you kill their general? You're going to start us in war. And Trump's saying, he's guilty because he hurt Americans, and I won't accept that. He's going to die. And he killed him. He's not saying it literally, but he's showing it through action. That he's out there to defend Americans and American interests. And that's what we need. That's what we need. And I love the fact
We
that
do need
conversation,
that.
that interview, I love the fact that interview was about foreign policy because I love foreign policy. That's me personally, but I think that's what he's so great at because he gets the big picture. And people, the voters, they get the big picture. When they see Taiwan being bullied and they see Ukraine taking advantage of us and they see the billions of dollars we're spending, they look at that and they say, we need someone strong, man. We need someone in charge who looks like he's in charge, who's confident. And Donald Trump is the perfect guy. Look, Ron DeSantis, maybe he's that, but he hasn't shown it. And we don't have time to test that. We don't have time to test out, and I don't have time to wait for Ron DeSantis to figure out if he's pro-Ukraine or not.
He needs more time.
I need him to sit down, decide if he's ever going to have a foreign policy position, and stick to it. Not next week come out and say, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant this." No, stick to it. Stick to it.
Yeah, he also needs more time to show us that he can really do this. He can step up to the same level as Trump, you know. But yeah, you're right.
But guess what? Right now for 2028, he's perfect. because he'll learn and he'll take it. I'm sure Trump is gonna.
Hopefully, man.
I'm
Hopefully.
sure that Trump in 2028, when Ron DeSantis is coming up, I'm sure he's gonna help him out. And he's gonna say, "Look, this is what you got to do. Make sure you do this, this, and that." I'm sure they'll do that.
I hope so because
Yeah,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
They will say that they will do this now, but once they get into the office, it's a different situation.
Exactly. But we know what we got with Trump. That's why I'm with them. I'm with them. I don't know if you're. I know you're voting for Kamala, but because she's Indian. She's also Indian. She's the first Indian vice president.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, my friend. And
Nah, man,
with
Trump,
that,
Trump all the way, Trump all the way.
yeah, Trump all the way. That's our message. And with that, we're gonna wrap up. It's time for us to go on this really, really good episode for the Republic. So right again, we're gonna be setting up the webcam, so we'll have a full video. We're gonna try to get live clips going on. We're gonna try to do things like reactions to the wokest TikToks out there.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Kennedy wants to show us his boyfriend Dylan Mulvaney, so we'll see that. He wants to keep bothering me with a thoughtcast, man. And so don't forget, sign up for our podcast everywhere. You can hear us everywhere we get podcasts. Everywhere. Don't even ask. Is it Spotify? Yes. Apple? Yes. Yes. Everything. Yes. We're everywhere. All right. So watch us
Everywhere.
everywhere. Tell your friends. Tell all your friends. Tell your.
I'll
mail-
even put it on my shirt too if you want.
Tell your. He'll get a tattoo of it on his face.
Yeah.
Tell your mailman. Tell the guy at the gas station. Subscribe. Like the videos. Tell everybody. Go outside and scream this podcast out at patreon.com/for the Republic. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Great episode. We'll talk to you next time, guys.
All right, guys.